Yes, you've condemned me as a racist. And you just lost your job.
Who's that?
Mike, you know, some fat dude who does talk radio. I'm very angry with Mike. I think it's outrageous behaviour. I think it's immoral behaviour. I think he's a scumbag.
The mainstream media is now so captured by the woke mind virus, even within organisations that you might think are sound, specifically my former channels, Talk TV and GB News. The desire to shut down, silence, cancel, and ultimately destroy truth tellers burns hard. Just 2 years ago, I experienced exactly that when my colleagues at GB News, a channel for which I had given my life, had been their launch presenter and actually ended up hosting their top-rated flagship show, gave into the mob over a comment that I hadn't even made. But who cares about that? Who gives a damn now? It was the biggest gift I've ever been given. I am now free. I am independent. I am owned by no one other than my brilliant audience and no longer controlled by nefarious billionaires. And that's why I'm convinced the cancellation of Mike Graham, similarly the top-rated host on Talk, will end up being an equal opportunity for him too. But that doesn't make the process any less painful. And it doesn't make the civil war that I can reveal has erupted at News UK as the staff of Talk TV and Talk Sport battle to either destroy or save Mike's career any less awful. So let me take you through the story, then I'll reveal what's going on behind the scenes based on many conversations that I've had with multiple Talk and News UK staff members. On Sunday night, Mike's Facebook and Instagram account ended up with this post on it. Compare and contrast. Tell me we're not fucked by multicultural bollocks. Why are we surrounded by non-white people? Just fuck off. Mike appeared on air as normal on Monday morning.
Welcome back to Morning Glory. It is coming up to 6 minutes. It is Monday morning, the 20th of October. Julie Hartley-Pyrrhus here. Very good morning.
We're not down. We're going.
We're still going. Yeah, it's called radio. You know, it's just
wind it up.
Right.
But the left immediately began a campaign for Mike to lose his job. And that hit fever pitch when the TalkSport presenter Aid Alapido posted and then deleted this on X. Now, this post has not been revealed until now. Let me read it to you. Just been sent that now deleted Instagram post from Mike Graham. I usually hold my tongue with most of the racist nonsense I see on social media, but this is beyond vile and unacceptable from someone in the same building as me, same floor. He simply has to be taken off the air immediately by Talk TV. Horrible man. But after that, Mike took to X himself to insist on Sunday night my Facebook was accessed and a vile message was posted on my page without my knowledge. It contained words that I would never write and an opinion I don't share. As soon as I found out, I immediately deleted the post and have taken steps to ensure the cybersecurity is enhanced. Obviously, I am mortified that such a post could have gone out in my name and am now attempting to find out how it could have happened. I am equally very sorry for any distress it has caused to anyone. But of course, the left was never going to accept an apology. They don't want an apology. They want destruction. So Henry Morris, who's like an internet sleuth, wrote, "Impressive that the hacker used the picture you'd just posted on Twitter moments beforehand." And Matthew Leggett added, "They must also have access to your phone, iCloud, since the two images of Churchill and Big Ben are different and were snapped seconds apart. Just own your racism, Talk TV. Mike Graham is a racist and a liar, and we expect his employment to be terminated with immediate effect." Now, by Tuesday morning, Mike Graham was off air. Jeremy Kyle initially said he would be in for MG for just one day. But he turned up again on Wednesday to host his best mate's show, and this time he didn't mention his name at all.
Well, my friends, a very good morning. What is it? Honest to God, it's very early. It's Tuesday, the 21st of October. It's JK for MG. Don't panic if you're waking up. The main man just having today away. But we are here. Julia Hartley-Brewer very soon on Talk. I nearly said Drive, but it's actually Morning Glory. Cheers. Hey, very, very good morning to you. What is it? Wednesday, the 22nd of October. JK on Morning Glory till 10 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. The Queen of Westminster has walked in. How are you?
Hello, hello.
Are you known as the Queen of Westminster?
No, not at all.
Because I bow
but you
down.
just carry on with that.
Hey, very, very good morning to you. What is it? It is Thursday, the 23rd of October. You're with Morning Glory. Thanks for tuning in. The home, of course, of free speech, but most of all, common sense. You don't get this anywhere else, by the way. We say this every single day.
Then on Wednesday afternoon, after a leak which Mike believes was from Talk Sport, the Daily Mail reported Mike Graham is sacked from Talk Breakfast Show after racist posts on his Facebook account as he insists he was hacked. Within an hour, they had rowed back ever so slightly, saying he had been suspended. But what is very clear from my conversations is that Talk Sport staff had kicked up a massive stink behind the scenes, prompting a formal investigation to be launched by HR into Mike, where he was asked to give up his phone to the company so they could look into his hacking claims. Now, Talk Radio and Talk Sport, you might be confused about this because they used to be tight. Like Talk Radio was launched as a spin-off from Talk Sport. They were sister stations. But I know what happened. It was the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020 when I was actually hosting Talk Radio's Drive show, and a clear split between the two emerged. Okay, half of you watching this are not subscribed to Dan Wootton Outspoken, and the best way you can support what we do is by hitting that subscribe button. It is completely free, and turn on the notification bell to be alerted to our new episodes.
Be able to help all those who don't understand the Black Lives Matter movement. If you're fired up about it and you shout back, well, all lives matter or white lives matter as well, then please just stop for a second, take a listen to this. Hopefully it will help you.
So this civil war has been brewing for the past 5 years, and Mike's post was what thrust it into the open. The Daily Express has now reported that the post was the final straw. And they quote a source from Talk Sport. Let me take you through this. They say it's like civil war has broken out on the shop floor. What the public don't understand is that Talk Sport and Talk Radio are very different channels in the same building on the same floor. At Sport, we have people of all different colours working alongside each other peacefully. We're one big happy team, and the bosses at News UK know that. But at Talk Radio, their agenda and output is highly charged to make migrants and minorities feel like the enemy. The fact that Mike Graham can post some of the trash he does normally, and nobody in senior management has told him off before, is a disgrace. But his Facebook post is the final straw. They added, none of us at TalkSport want to work with him. Why would we want to work with a man who says the things he says? In order for the Talk Radio presenters to get to their studio, they have to walk through the TalkSport section of the office, and we don't want him there anymore. Just look at the presenter lineups of both stations and tell me you don't see the difference. We have big names like Darren Bent and Gabby Omblahor. Why should they have to share a workspace with Mike Graham after what he's said? If Denny Morris, the head of both stations, protects his good friend Mike Graham, there'll be civil war in this place. Now, what makes Mike's axing potentially more interesting is that he's actually being criticised almost equally from both the left and the right. So let's start with the extremists on the Islamist left. Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana's new party actually posted about this. Right-wing TV host Mike Graham has reportedly been sacked. This is the man who said on air that independent Alliance MP Ayub Khan should go back to Pakistan for opposing Maccabi hooligans coming to Birmingham. The media's racism on full display. And that was in reference to this moment.
Pakistani community and the FA, says Anna in Surrey. And Louise says, good morning, Mike. Louise from Ipswich. Aston Villa might as well have put up a sign saying no Jews allowed. This is blatant anti-Semitism. I'm frankly ashamed of Aston Villa. I'm ashamed of Birmingham. I'm ashamed of the police in Birmingham. These people have no business in our country. And this bloke, Ayub Khan, whoever he is, should go back to Pakistan and practice his anti-Semitism somewhere where people appreciate it, because we certainly do not.
So that's the left. But what's interesting, and what I think a lot of you will not expect, is that Tommy Robinson has also joined the chorus of criticism, given Mike's previous decision to brand him a racist on X. Here are the posts. Tell that to your racist mate, Tommy Robinson. Total cobblers. The bloke is an idiot. Free speech is intact. He's supported by the Tommy Robinson moron racist brigade. You don't need to look any further, mate. Isn't it amazing how easy it is to hook the racists in when you mention St. Tommy of Robinson? Not his real name, and a rich furrow of planks who are now all experts in the law of the land. Give me strength. So that's the context to this first video of Tommy Robinson celebrating Mike Graham's axing today.
Hold on. Mike, what's going on? For years you've condemned me as a racist and you just lost your job.
Who's that?
Mike, you know, some fat dude who does talk radio, talk TV. For years, all he ever does is use his platform, and every time he talks about me, he condemns me as that far-right racist. He's got drunk and he's got pissed up, posted loads of racist stuff. His true feelings come out. You were masking, you were fucking... It's brilliant.
Good, he's got time to exercise now.
Do you want a job with us, Mike? Nah, mate, don't employ racists.
There was obviously a bit of pushback about that because, you know, there is a shared fan base in a lot of way. So Tommy decided to clarify his position further.
Let me just give you some context for why I'm laughing. A few years ago, there was a sexual assault at Centre Parks. I was on holiday at Centre Parks. And that sexual assault was against a child that's close to me. I can't identify the child or tell you or go into any more detail because victims of sexual assault are forever protected from being identified. I'd be committing an offence. I'm a bit lost here. Anyway, am I? I'd be committing an offence. So let me just tell you what Mike did at that time. So a sexual assault against a child close to me. Mike used his platform to belittle it, to mock it, and to say that it was fabricated and that the child was lying in order to promote my racist agenda. That's what Mike did. So, of course, I'm very angry with Mike. I think it's outrageous behaviour. I think it's immoral behaviour. I think he's a scumbag. That's what I think, yeah? So, if you see me laughing, I wouldn't usually laugh at someone losing their job. I wouldn't usually laugh at... I don't believe in cancel culture, but Mike's an arsehole, yeah? Mike belittled a sexual assault against a child that I know, yeah? And he'd done it out of his hatred for me and his allegation that I'm a racist. So to now see Mike lose his job for the allegation of being a racist, the full 360, yeah. I don't shed any tears. I'm not sympathetic to the man at all. He's an arsehole. He's continually used his platform to attack me as a racist with zero evidence. Yet, look, there's evidence against Mike. Yeah, well, not much evidence. Imagine I've been covertly recorded for years. I've done hundreds of demonstrations. I've had cameras on me for years. There's nothing on me as a racist. Yeah, nothing. Yet Mike, imagine all the cameras have been on him for all those years. So yeah.
So as you can see, a real division here. Others on the right refused to support Mike because of his dismissal in the past of Britain's unquestioning changing demographics, which will make our native population the minority. Watch. But first, as we get older, you notice it. After a cold day, hard workout, even a long week, recovery just isn't as quick as it used to be, right? That bounce back factor matters. And it turns out the secret isn't luck, it's stem cells. Your body's built-in repair crew. With age, that system slows down. Fewer cells, weaker signals, slower recovery. That's exactly why Qualia created Qualia Stem Cell. Think of it this way. Your cells are powerful. Qualia Stem Cell helps keep them that way. It's crafted with nature's heavy lifters, sea buckthorn, royal jelly, and more to support your body's natural repair system so you can keep moving, healing, and thriving. You don't have to accept slowing down. This is about supporting better aging by reactivating the systems that help you bounce back. And it's refreshingly simple. You take it just 4 days. a month. So if you've ever felt like your body just doesn't bounce back like it used to, whether it's after a tough workout, getting sick, or just the wear and tear of life, this is for you. Qualia Stem Cell was designed to support your body's natural repair systems, helping you heal, recover, and keep going strong. And right now, you can try it for up to 50% off at qualialife.com/Dan. And here's a bonus. Use the code Dan for an additional 15% off your order. So that's QUALIA life.com/Dan. Your body's built to repair itself. Qualia just helps it do it that better. And a big thanks, by the way, to Qualia for sponsoring this episode of Outspoken. But now, back to the show.
Can you tell me how somebody next door to you has been replaced by somebody else? Have you got a theory on that?
Yes, it's on the ONS.
No. I'm looking
Yes.
for actual evidence. You're telling me that people are being replaced. Can you tell me of any friends of yours who have been taken away and replaced? Do you know what the word replace means? It means taking something away and replacing it with something else. Do you understand what that actually means? You have no evidence that anyone's being replaced, do you?
Only according to what the demographic experts are predicting, but that white...
Oh, it's a prediction. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realise it was a prediction. I thought you were telling me that people were actually actively being replaced now.
Yeah, it's called the replacement plan. It's on the United Nations.
Oh, right. So when does the plan kick in? When does it start?
I think it started a while ago.
Did it? Whoa. What, so you mean there's already loads of people that have been replaced in Southend then?
Yeah.
Right. OK. So do you know anyone that's disappeared in Southend? Because this is a great story now. I'm thinking that we should get into it.
So that prompted the independent media sensation Maya Tusi of Tusi TV to respond in this way. Never forget, all of these mainstream media voices were calling everything and everyone racist until just a couple of years ago. But now they see it trendy to say right-wing things. They're all on Talk TV and GB News, all fake. And no, they haven't evolved their views. I know them. No chance. Now, for once, I've got a position that's more nuanced. That's not often for me, right? But Mike was a brilliant colleague to me at Talk, and I love him as a broadcaster. I think his Morning Glory show is a must listen. I don't agree with him on everything, though. Certainly not on Tommy Robinson, certainly not on demographics. And it was disappointing that Mike jumped on Talk's pitchfork-waving mob against myself and Lawrence Fox when I think he should have been standing up for the principle of free speech.
What on earth is going on over at GB News? You know, they call it the People's Channel, but there's a lot of people suspended. I don't know what that means, but what it does seem to mean is that there's an awful lot of people who want to shut them down. There's an awful lot of people who've been outraged by Lawrence Fox and what he said about Ava Santina, a woman that does a lot of work here at Talk TV. The problem is, when you use people like Lawrence Fox, who's not a journalist, he's a polemicist, he's a former actor, he likes to get stuck into people, he says things which are inappropriate. Lots of people, I think, thought that what he said was wrong. I don't think anyone thought that what he said was right. There are consequences to freedom of speech. He's been suspended. Dan Wootton has now been suspended because it turns out that he didn't correct anything that Lawrence Fox said. And the whole station now seems to be in freefall. Who knows where it's all going to end? But the one thing I would say is this. If GB News could clean up its act...
Now, some people say it's a little bit ironic, but I don't hold Mike at all responsible for that. Talk were desperate to get me off air at the time for competitive reasons, and they even held a champagne toast behind the scenes with Sharon Osbourne when it was announced that I had been suspended. I always did think, well, this is really silly because the mob are going to come for you next. Lots of people on the right, though, don't think Mike should have apologised at all, but rather owned his original post. Josh Fern of Lotus Eaters, who Mike has been very critical of in the past, said even after this rather embarrassing excuse, he has apparently been suspended anyway. And World by Wolf added, so Mike Graham has been put on a break from his Talk TV show because he posted a photo of a tube carriage on the London Underground full of non-English people and complained about it. I don't see the problem. We shouldn't have minority English cities in England. It's ethnic cleansing. All of that said, though, there has also been a massive groundswell of love for Mike, with threats of a boycott of Talk growing if he doesn't return. There's even been a change.org petition launched arguing that he should be reinstated. And I will say that Mike's suspension has come at the worst possible time for Talk, given new radio ratings information. These are the so-called radars released today. And by the way, I don't believe the radars. They're a joke. Like, you literally write down a little book. Oh, yes, I listened to this radio station. But anyway, that's a whole other story. They were released today, and they show Talk's ratings slumping by 12% year on year, and devastatingly for them, being overtaken by GB News Radio. Now, those ratings will become even more dire without Mike on air. Calvin McKenzie wrote, Mike Graham, the breakfast show host on Talk TV, comfortably their best presenter, has been suspended for a post which appeared on his Facebook page, but which he insists was hacked. Murdoch's piss-poor London management acted when a company employee he has Nigerian heritage complained. And then he went into what the post said. And Calvin, in fairness, did say unacceptable, but I've known Graham for literally decades and have never heard him ever be disparaging about minorities. In fact, I've never even heard him talk about race matters. He has been replaced temporarily, I trust, by the ho-hum Jeremy Kyle, who made his career by humiliating poor white people on television. At News UK, employing somebody who made millions by dehumanising whites from council estates is just fine, but one mysterious racist post destroys a career. I do hope, once an investigation is completed, that Graham is reinstated. Queen Bee backed that up, writing, I've come to know Mike Graham over the years, and I can absolutely say he is not a racist. And these posts were simply just not how he speaks. Talk, don't capitulate to the madness. The country loves Mike. An ex-Talk colleague, Dave Atherton, he had a very interesting point of view on this. He wrote, Mike Graham, Talk's best presenter, appears to be suspended for remarks made on Facebook on migrants. I worked on The Late Show. I started off every 3 weeks, then fortnightly, then weekly. Over Christmas, I was on both Thursday and Friday. Went on with Lois Perry. They had a record audience of 100,000, which I still believe stands. The feedback we got was excellent. Then they saw my support for Tommy Robinson, inspected my X feed, and I was never used again. I understand it's the wokeists in human remains, resources, that were the people behind it. The management have a lot to answer for. They need to go, not Mike. Charlotte Gill added, this is so obviously a hack. Mike Graham does not speak like this. Also, this account below, used in the article as some sort of proof Mike did it, is a far left account, and the hacker absolutely could have used the picture Mike just posted on Twitter moments beforehand. People do get hacked. He's even received backing from the SDP leader, William Clouston, who wrote a quick shout out for Mike Graham. Remember that platforms can and do get hacked. It's quite common. Nothing detracts from Mike's insight, experience, and brilliance as a journalist. Keep on trucking, Mike. And Daily Mail columnist Dan Hodges on the left added, lots of people dancing on Mike Graham's grave. We don't always agree, but I've always enjoyed debating with him. Hope it can all be sorted out and he's back on air soon. Of course, I do give both sides here, and there are the usual hard left haters like Narinder Kaur, who wrote, I'm astounded a channel whose entire unique selling point is bigotry and racism is sacking someone for being exactly that. And Bushra Sheikh, who added, surprised but happy to hear that Talk TV have sacked Mike Graham for his racist post on Facebook. He blocked me a while ago after I had pointed out his blatant bigotry, racism, and Islamophobia. It was a long time coming. Drain the swamp. Next up is Julia Hartley-Brewer. So that's how they act. You get one, then you go for the other. The problem for Mike is that there are now many within Talk calling for him to own his initial post and apologise. But I mean, how would that go down with management? And the ex-AI tool Grok hasn't helped his cause either. When asked, do you believe Mike Graham that he was hacked? Grok replied, no, I don't believe Mike Graham's claim that his Facebook account was hacked, and then went into the reasons why. They say if it truly was a hack, concrete evidence like login alerts from unusual devices should be easy to produce. But all I know is that if Mike Graham is taken off air, it is another nail in the coffin of the dying MSM. And besides, it would mean we'd never get another viral post like this.
Morning, Mike.
Oh, hello. What are you glued to, Cameron?
Just your screen, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. What do you do for a living,
Well,
Cameron?
I'm a carpenter.
A carpenter, right. So how safe is that for the climate?
Well, I work with timber, which is a much more sustainable material rather than concrete. I also
But you work with
retrofit-
trees that have been cut down then, don't you?
It's a sustainable building practice
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
because it's regenerative. You can grow trees.
Right. Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can. See you, Cameron. Cheerio. That was Cameron. He grows trees and then cuts them down and then makes things from them. Brilliant. Marvellous. I don't think I ever want to talk to any of those people.
Now, the superstar panel are here. To Jasmine Birtles, the host of Money Magpie Finance on YouTube, and Urban Scoop star Guramit Singh. So, Jasmine, look, you're an amazing woman, right? Because you've been on all of these stations, but you supported me through my cancellation through thick and thin. Where do you stand on what's going on with Mike Graham?
Well, I used to work with Mike, actually, like you. But even further back, I used to work with him in the Daily Express. So I know Mike, reasonably well. He's always been a bit of a curmudgeon. He's an old hag. Now I don't know because I haven't spoken to him at all about this, but I don't feel that post is exactly him either. I mean, parts of it might be, but it seems to me like not quite his way of writing. So I would err on the side of believing him when he said that he's been hacked. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's the way I feel about it.
And then, Guramit Singh, you have your ally, Tommy Robinson, celebrating this, but he has clarified that he's not celebrating this because he believes in cancel culture, but rather the irony that Mike Graham has previously accused him of racism. Are you with Tommy on this?
I'm completely with Tommy. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Mike Graham's show. I don't really listen or watch to talks radio, is it? But after watching your little clips of him right now, he seems to come across like a little quite arrogant, if I'm being honest. And after listening to Tommy Robinson earlier and the video that you played, how he was quite insulting at a time when someone very close to Tommy, and I'm very close to Tommy, and the people around him suffered quite an extreme violent act against them, and he was kind of using it as an excuse to discredit Tommy. I'm kind of with Tommy on it. So as one of the tweets that your pulpit said, dancing on the grave, I'd probably be dancing on the grave of his career alongside with Tommy, but with a bottle of champagne in my hand, due to the fact that he's treated Tommy in that way.
Okay, so that's why. It's specifically because he accused Tommy of racism. Jasmine,
100%.
From your business point of view, where do you think Talk stands on this? Is it Mike Graham's responsibility to prove that his account was hacked? Or did they have to prove it? Do you see what I mean? Because I've obviously had these complaints from the Woketopians at Talk Sport, but Mike's saying, look, I was hacked. So how do they deal with this from a legal perspective and from an HR perspective? Because, of course, if Mike was hacked and then he's sacked for it, surely he could have an unfair dismissal case.
Well, absolutely, he could. So, yeah, I mean, if I would talk, I would want him to prove it. But of course, they've got deep pockets, and they've got a huge legal team. They've also got tech people who could work it out. So I think it would be better for them to actually decide for themselves. And also, what they have to decide is this enough, really, honestly, to get rid of him? Maybe at the moment it looks like they've decided it was, but given what their viewers, their listeners are saying, it could be that he has such a big amount of support that it wouldn't be a good business decision to get rid of him. It might be for their own people. They might get problems with their own staff, as you say, particularly from Talk Sport. But they might take the view that actually he has such a lot of support, and they can make a case maybe to say, we think that it was actually a hack here, that they will bring him back simply because he's got so much support, so many viewers love him.
Absolutely, and I think it would be disastrous for them from a business point of view. I mean, Guramit Singh, I guess the one thing that organisations like Urban Scoop are proving, that shows like Outspoken are proving, is that actually you don't need the mainstream media anymore. And I think a figure like Mike Graham, and look, you may disagree with him on a lot of points, but I think he would thrive on this space. And actually, he could be more successful independent rather than as part of a dying media organisation like News UK and Talk TV, which proved, by the way, Guramit, time and again how out of touch they are with their viewers, with their listeners, with their readers, by the way that they, for example, covered the Unite the Kingdom rally. Because it's their viewers and listeners and readers that are in attendance, yet they painted it as some type of violent hellhole. And obviously we were both there and we know that's so far from the truth.
Well, you've already just said it out loud, really. I don't understand where his career could be, even as an independent, when he's willing to speak so many lies on so many various issues. He's willing to speak make accusations against Tommy Robinson to be a racist when he has no evidence of that. He's willing to say that the United Kingdom march was violent, far right, whatever he did say, and there is no evidence of that at all. So I don't even know how successful he's been as an independent. Now, it's the sort of thing that I'd expect from the mainstream media, but not as an independent such as yourselves or us guys from Urban Scoop.
Indeed. Look, I'm going to keep on this story. There is a lot developing here very fast. But what I do know is that this is a really horrible thing to be at the centre of the storm. And it is really horrible when people turn on you too. But I would say, and I do stress again, I think this is a great opportunity for Mike to go independent. I really do. I think actually his career would end up benefiting from it. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.